examples here, and people who've done this role before, if you have other examples, I'd love to hear them. One, submits and completes assignments on time. The biggest thing we see here is, can anybody guess? Lesson plans, exactly. The biggest thing we see here is lesson plans. And I think it's important for us to note that we are not expecting that, I guess I don't want us to think about like our expectations for core members as being like so completely outrageous. Like, we're expecting that they turn in these lesson plans, that they turn them in by a certain date, correct? We all know that things come up in our lives, like accidents happen, we get sick, we get in car accidents, like things happen. What we do expect from our core members is that they take responsibility for what it is that we're asking them to do, and when they're not going to be able to meet our expectations. That doesn't mean that if every time a core member's lesson plans are due, they call you 12 hours in advance and say, I'm not going to have my lesson plans in on time. Like, obviously that's a pattern of behavior that we wouldn't want to continue. But it does mean that if a core member calls you and says, you know what, my lesson, like 12 hours before, and they're like, I just got in a car accident, I'm now on my way to the tow company, like da-da-da-da. Like, we are not going to be like, yeah, we're still going to note it because we want to know, because if a pattern starts to occur, like, we want to have that information. But we're not going to think the core member is a bad person because they don't get their lesson plans in on time because they had a car accident. So I think it's really important for us to make sure that when we're thinking about this, we're not judging the person. We're just saying, like, we just want to make sure we have this information as we move along. So anyway, so lesson plans is one. Arrive by punch start times. This is the biggest thing here is, you know, being late to CMA and CS sessions or other just activities, but those are the two that are most frequent. Participate actively and constructively in sessions and learning experiences. Some things that we see with core members is that they lack sufficient time management skills when they get to institute, and so I think the biggest kind of thing we see here is that core members like fall asleep during sessions, and that can't really be considered participating actively. Behaves with integrity in all aspects of his or her institute experience. I don't know that I have a great example of this one. Anybody who's been a school director before that can think of something? Crystal?
I was just going to say something in terms of interactions that they have with school staff. So thinking about how they interact with their faculty advisor, for example, would be something that I think would fall under that category.
Yep. Ashley?
One of the things that we ran into is somebody said that they were going to meet their core member at a certain place and time, and the core member lied about the reasons why they weren't able to make it, and that lie was made known.
Yeah, so those are some examples.
There was a situation too where a core member was just not doing any lesson planning, and just taking other people's lesson plan and submitting them.
So some examples there. Thanks for jumping in, people. Behaving in accordance with established rules. I mean, I think there's probably lots of different rules that we can think of, but specific things that I can think of are like if you have specific rules at your university, like for having a dry campus or things like that, those would not only be like rules that they'd be breaking of Teach for America, as we promised to uphold the rules of the university, but also, you know, unlawful rules, because I'm sure it would be, you know.
Would that be a serious concern then? Because on a staff session, it said that it was something that could be, you know,
A serious
prosecuted
offense?
by law.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yep, yeah, that would be a serious offense actually, and that would come straight to me for investigation. A CM speaks and behaves in a respectful and professional manner to all members of the institute community. I think Crystal gave a good example of that. Does not cause other professionalism concerns, and does not commit any serious offenses, which we also just talked about.
In the partnership and expectations session, how explicit are we about these specific categories?
I actually haven't seen the revised partnership and expectations session, so I cannot answer that question for you at this moment. If anybody else on full-time staff knows the answer to that, just feel free to jump in.
It was just finalized last week, so I don't think any of us have really had a chance to read through it yet, but you will get it at all staff conference. So you'll have plenty of time to really read through and internalize it, getting ready for week 1. So we can certainly talk about it then.
Oh yeah?
This is kind of random, but does dress get noted?
I would say that probably fits under in accordance with established rules. I know for the Chicago Institute in particular, like just as wording our dress code. It's pretty specific. It'll go out to all core members before they come to Institute. So I think that would go in just in accordance with the